The Jungle That Listened. July 14, 1966. Quang Nai Province, South Vietnam. Dawn has not yet broken through the canopy. The jungle breathes in slow, wet pulses, mist clinging to vines and elephant grass. Somewhere ahead, a cicada cuts off mid-song. That silence is not natural. It is a warning. Private First Class Daniel Ruiz, 1st Cavalry Division, shifts his weight slightly, trying to ease the ache in his ankles. The leather boots issued to him at Camp Radcliffe feel stiff and swollen, soaked through from yesterday's monsoon. Every step pulls at the skin on his heels, raw and bleeding beneath wool socks that never fully dry. Ruiz does not look down. He does not need to. He knows what waits there. Blisters. Rot. Pain. What he is thinking about instead is the sound. The squad has been moving for 2 hours, single file, Sergeant Howard Mears in front, machete held low. Each step is measured. Each foot placed where the man ahead stepped before. The jungle floor is a trap of dead leaves, bamboo shards, and hidden roots. The boots are supposed to protect them. Thick soles. Reinforced toes. Standard issue. The kind worn by soldiers across the world. But here, in this place, boots speak too loudly. Ruiz hears it again. A faint creak of leather. Not from him. From somewhere behind. It is subtle, almost imagined, but in the jungle, subtle gets men killed. Sergeant Mears freezes. His fist rises. The line stops instantly. The air tightens. 10 meters to the left, unseen, a man crouches barefoot in the undergrowth. His name is Nguyen Van Ton. He is Viet Cong, born in this province, raised on these trails. His feet know the ground the way Ruiz knows his rifle. Ton does not move. He does not need to. He has already had them coming. The boots told him. Every step the Americans take presses a signature into the earth. Deep tread patterns fill with water. Crushed leaves do not spring back. Broken twigs snap instead of bending. Leather rubs against canvas. Soles scrape stone. Boots announce that something heavy and foreign is passing through. Ton counts quietly. 5 men. Maybe 6. Their weight gives them away. Their pace tells him they are tired. Their hesitation tells him they are afraid. Ruiz feels sweat trickle down his spine. His rifle is steady, finger straight along the trigger guard. He knows the drill. Scan left. Scan right. Watch the tree line. But the jungle is everywhere. There is no edge to watch. He takes another step. The boot sinks slightly into mud. It makes a sound like a kiss. Soft. Wet. Loud enough. Mears turns his head slowly, eyes narrowing. He has been in country 8 months. Long enough to learn that noise here is not just noise. It is information. He signals again. Nyo. As the squad lowers, Ruiz feels a sharp burn in his right foot. The skin has split. Blood mixes with rainwater inside the boot. He bites his lip to keep from hissing. Pain is weakness. Noise is death. Ton shifts his weight silently, toes gripping the soil. He smells them now. Sweat. Oil. Tobacco. He does not need to see their faces. The boots tell him everything else. Americans wear their fear on their feet. Further back, Specialist Tom Avery fights his own battle. His boots have softened after weeks in the field. The soles bend now, folding slightly with each step. It should make them quieter. Instead, it makes them unpredictable. One boot catches on a root. He stumbles. Leather scuffs back. The jungle seems to inhale. Mears does not shout. He does not curse. He closes his eyes for half a second. He knows what that sound means. Somewhere ahead, someone just learned exactly where they are. Boots are supposed to be armor. Protection against snakes, thorns, leeches, punji stakes. They are meant to carry soldiers through fire and rain and mud. That is the theory written in manuals back in Fort Benning. Vietnam does not care about manuals. Here, boots leave trails that can be followed for days. They cause infections that slow patrols. They make men hesitate when speed is life. They turn stealth into struggle. And sometimes, they speak when silence is the only thing keeping a man alive. Ruiz swallows, heart hammering. He feels watched. He is. Footprints that could not be erased. July 14, 1966. The same jungle. The same heavy air. Sergeant Mears holds his fist in the air longer than usual. He listens, not just with his ears, but with his body. The jungle never truly goes quiet. When it does, it means something is wrong. Birds do not sing. Insects pause. Even the wind seems to hold its breath. He lowers his hand slowly. The patrol does not move. This is where boots begin to betray men in ways no one warned them about back home. The trail behind the squad is not visible to Ruiz. He has been trained not to look back. But it exists all the same. A line carved through foliage by 40 pounds of gear and government-issued footwear. Each boot print presses deep into wet soil, filling with water that reflects light differently than untouched ground. To a man like Nguyen Van Ton, that trail is as clear as a road. Ton does not rush. He never does. He waits until the Americans pass, then rises just enough to see the damage they have left behind. Leaves crushed flat. Ferns bent and broken. The square-edged pattern of rubber saws stamped again and again into the earth. He could follow them blindfolded. He signals with 2 fingers. Another shape materializes beside him, then another. Bare feet. Sandals cut from truck tires. Some wear nothing at all. Their steps make no sound. Their weight spreads evenly. The jungle accepts them. Further ahead, Mears makes a decision. He motions the squad off the narrow game trail and into thicker growth. It is a mistake born of doctrine. Spread out. Avoid predictable paths. Do not funnel. The boots protest immediately. Roots snag laces. Mud grips soles. Bamboo slices into leather. Ruiz lifts his foot and feels resistance, as if the earth itself is trying to keep him. When it finally releases, the sound is wet and loud. He winces. In training, boots were protection. Here, they are anchors. Specialist Avery feels it too. His ankles roll slightly on uneven ground, the stiff leather preventing natural movement. Every step requires effort. He cannot feel the terrain through the sole. He cannot tell if the ground is solid or hollow until his weight is already committed. That hesitation slows him. Slowness spreads. Mears notices the spacing collapse. He knows what that means. Tired men bunch together. Bunched men die together. He crouches and waits again. Behind them, Ton kneels beside a footprint. He presses 2 fingers into the mud next to it. The print is still sharp. Fresh. He smiles faintly. They are close. He can smell their fear more clearly now. He knows their pace. Their boots tell him they are hurting. Heavy heel strikes mean fatigue. Shallow toe impressions mean men trying to walk quietly without knowing how. Boots teach bad habits in the jungle. A man used to boots walks heel first. That walks on pavement. On jungle floor, it snaps twigs and crushes leaves. Barefoot men step toe first, rolling weight slowly. Ton learned that as a child. No instructor ever had to tell him. The squad halts near a stand of bamboo. Mears signals for a short security pause. Ruiz lowers himself against a tree, careful to keep his rifle out of the mud. He feels warmth inside his boot. The blister has fully torn. The moisture trapped inside has turned the skin pale and soft. He knows what comes next. Infection. Jungle rot. Men lose toes to it. Some lose more. He thinks of Corporal Jensen, medevac last month. Not shot. Not wounded by shrapnel. His foot had turned black. Boots were part of that too. Avery reaches down and tightens his laces, then loosens them again. Too tight and the circulation cuts. Too loose and the boot slips, rubbing skin raw. There is no right answer. He wipes sweat from his eyes and leaves a streak of red-brown mud across his cheek. Somewhere nearby, Ton adjusts a wire connected to a grenade buried beneath leaves. He does not arm it yet. He is patient. Boots make men predictable. Predictable men step where others stepped before. Mia studies the ground ahead. He sees the signs now. Disturbed earth that is not theirs. A leaf bent the wrong way. A branch that does not belong broken where it lies. He knows they are being followed. He thinks about boots. In briefing rooms, officers talk about firepower and mobility. They talk about helicopters and radios and artillery. They rarely talk about feet. But in Vietnam, feet decide everything. How fast you move. How quietly. How long you can stay in the field. And boots, for all their protection, take something vital away. They take away silence. Mears raises 2 fingers and points back the way they came. Withdraw. Slow. Quiet. Ruiz shifts his weight and feels pain flare again. He sets his jaw. He will not make a sound. Behind them, Tom watches the squad begin to turn. He does not need to rush. The trail is there. It will not disappear. Boots ensure that. When protection became a wound, the patrol reverses direction inch by inch. Sergeant Mears signals each movement with small, controlled gestures. No talking. No radio. Even a whispered transmission can carry through wet air. Private Ruiz lifts his right foot and nearly loses balance as pain shoots up his leg. The boot feels heavier now, waterlogged and stiff. Every step grinds torn skin against leather. He focuses on breathing. In. Out. Slow. The jungle does not care about pain. It punishes it. As the squad moves, Avery notices something dark seeping from Ruiz's boot heel, thin and diluted by mud. He wants to say something. He does not. Talking is forbidden. Besides, there is nothing to be done. You do not stop a patrol for feet. Weeks earlier, in the rear area, Ruiz had reported soreness. The medic told him to keep his feet dry. Change socks. Air them out. Advice copied straight from a field manual written for Europe. There is nowhere dry here. Socks rot on the body. Boots stay wet for days. Inside leather, bacteria thrive. Avery remembers the smell. Sweet and rotten. He has smelled it on other men. Jungle rot. Trench foot. Names change. The result does not. Skin softens, cracks, invites infection. Swelling makes boots tighter, cutting circulation further. Men limp. Limping men fall behind. And men who fall behind disappear. Mears stops the patrol again. He crouches and checks Ruiz's face. Pale. Jaw clenched. Eyes focused but distant. Mears has seen this before. He taps Ruiz's boot lightly, then gestures. How bad? Ruiz hesitates, then holds up 2 fingers. Not terrible. Not yet. It is a lie that both of them accept. There is no evacuation for sore feet. There is only the mission. Behind them, Ton studies the trail again. He notices the uneven impressions now. One set of prints digs deeper at the heel. The stride is shorter. One man is hurt. That changes things. He signals to the others. Slow them. Pressure them. No rush. Boots do more than mark the ground. They change posture. Men with injured feet shift weight, move differently. To an experienced eye, pain leaves a signature as clear as blood. The patrol reaches a shallow stream. Water trickles over stones, masking sound. Mears signals for a crossing. It is risky. Water hides footprints, but it also soaks boots even further. Ruiz steps in. Cool relief washes over his foot, followed by a deeper sting as water seeps into the torn skin. He fights the urge to gasp. He keeps moving. On the far bank, the squad pauses again. Avery wrings water from his sleeves. His boots squelch softly when he shifts. He hates that sound. Everyone does. It is the sound of being tracked. Boots are supposed to shield men from the jungle. From leeches, snakes, thorns. And they do. Sometimes. But they also trap moisture. They create pressure points. They turn minor cuts into open wounds that never heal. Vietnam eats boots from the inside. Mears knows the statistics. He has read the reports. Non-combat casualties. Infection rates. Medical evacuations. Feet are one of the leading reasons men are pulled from the field. Not bullets. Not shrapnel. Feet. And every evacuation leaves fewer men to patrol, fewer eyes to watch the jungle. As they move on, Ruiz stumbles again. This time, he cannot hide it. His boot catches on a submerged root and his weight shifts too quickly. He recovers, but the damage is done. The jungle heard him. 100 meters away, Ton hears it too. A dull splash. A scrape of leather. He smiles again. The boots are telling him a story, step by step. He motions one man forward. Set the trap. The Viet Cong move without sound. Their feet sink and rise without leaving obvious marks. They step where Americans will step next, not where they stepped before. They know how boots guide movement. Men look for firm ground. They follow each other's tracks without thinking. Mears senses it now. The pressure. The invisible presence tightening around them. He signals a halt and scans the ground ahead. Something is wrong. The trail looks too clear. Too inviting. He kneels and peers closer. A disturbed patch of leaves. A thin wire glinting briefly before disappearing under mud. Punji sticks. Grenade trap. Something. He raises his fist sharply. Freeze. Ruiz stops with his injured foot half lifted. The pain is immediate and fierce. He sways, fighting balance. Sweat pours down his face. Mears reaches back and grips Ruiz's web gear, steadying him without a word. Their eyes meet for a second. Mears sees fear there. Not of death. Of falling. Of making noise. Of being the reason everyone else dies. Boots were meant to keep men safe. But here, they slow them, mark them, injure them. And the jungle is patient. Learning to walk like the enemy. Sergeant Mears slowly lowers his raised fist and carefully points to the disturbed leaves. The men nearest him lean in just enough to see it. A thin wire. Almost invisible unless you know what to look for. One careless step and the patrol would be reduced to blood and confusion. Mears signals a detour. Wide. Slow. The squad shifts, boots lifting and lowering with exaggerated care. Every movement feels clumsy. They know, now more than ever, that the jungle is watching them. Behind the trap, Nguyen Van Ton waits. He had expected the explosion. He does not hear it. That is disappointing, but not surprising. This sergeant is experienced. Experience makes Americans dangerous. It also makes them cautious. Caution still leaves tracks. Ton does something unexpected. He removes the simple rubber sandals from his feet and slips them into his belt. He steps forward barefoot. The ground is cool and alive beneath him. Mud squeezes between toes. Small stones press into skin, each one familiar. He moves faster this way. Quieter. His feet feel the wire before his eyes ever would. He thinks of the boots again. He has seen them abandoned in camps, split and rotting. Heavy. Useless in the rain. He has worn a pair once, taken from a dead soldier. He lasted one day before throwing them away. They made him feel blind. Mears kneels beside the wire and walks it loose with a bayonet. Sweat runs into his eyes. He does not wipe it away. He finishes, then signals the all clear. The patrol continues, but something has changed. Specialist Avery watches Ruiz closely now. Ruiz is favoring his left side. His stride is uneven. Avery knows what comes next. Infection. Fever. A man who cannot keep up. He remembers a briefing he once overheard from an old advisor. Marines, not Army. The man had said something that stuck. If you want to survive in the jungle, you have to stop walking like a soldier and start walking like the land. Avery looks down at his boots. Government issued. Regulation. Blackened leather scuffed gray. He thinks about the mountaineers he has seen moving through these hills, barefoot or wearing thin sandals. He had laughed at them once. He is not laughing now. Mears calls another halt, this time near a cluster of thick roots. He motions Avery forward. Quietly, he reaches into his pack and pulls out a small bottle. Foot powder. He hands it to Ruiz, then gestures. 5 minutes. Ruiz's eyes widen slightly. Stopping like this is dangerous. But Mears has decided. A man who cannot walk is a liability to everyone. Ruiz sits carefully and unlaces his boot. The smell hits Avery immediately. Rotten metal and damp leather. Ruiz keeps his face blank as he peels the boot away. The skin on his heel is white and split, red underneath. Angry. Infected. Mears does not flinch. He sprinkles powder, wraps the foot quickly with a field dressing, then looks at the boot. He thinks for a moment, then shakes his head. He gestures to Ruiz's other boot. Ruiz understands. His breath catches. He unlaces the second boot and removes it. Now he is barefoot in Vietnam. The ground feels shocking at first. Every pebble, every twig sends a jolt upward. But there is something else too. Sensation. Awareness. He can feel where the earth is soft, where it is firm. He can feel a root before it catches him. Mears motions. Move. Ruiz stands, testing his weight. Pain flares, but it is different now. Sharper, cleaner. He steps carefully, placing his foot where he can see. He is slower, but quieter. Avery watches in disbelief as the sound changes. The wet sucking noise is gone. There is no leather creak. Just soft contact with earth. Behind them, Tom notices it immediately. The rhythm is wrong. One set of footsteps has changed. Lighter. Less distinct. That is interesting. He smiles again, but this time with respect. Boots have been abandoned by Americans before. Advisors. Special forces. Men who learn the hard way. Regular infantry are slower to adapt. Regulations fight reality. But reality always wins. The patrol moves on, one man barefoot, the other still bound by leather and rubber. Mears knows this is not a solution he can order. He cannot write it in a report. But he also knows that today, it might save Ruiz's life. The jungle listens again. And this time, it hears something different. Adaptation or death. The patrol moves deeper, the light thinning as the canopy tightens overhead. Time stretches in the jungle. Minutes feel like hours. Sweat dries, then returns. Ruiz concentrates on his feet, placing them carefully, toes first, rolling weight slowly just as he has seen the locals do. It is not quiet. But it is quieter. Every few steps, he pauses, letting pain settle into something manageable. His bare foot feels exposed, vulnerable, but also alive. He can sense the difference between leaf and soil, between hollow ground and solid earth. He feels a sharp edge once and pulls back before it cuts him. That would not have happened in boots. Avery notices it too. Ruiz is still lagging, but he is no longer stumbling. His movements look deliberate now. Controlled. Avery experiments, lifting his own foot more carefully, setting it down instead of stepping. The boot still betrays him, but less than before. Mears watches all of it. He fires it away. Survival in Vietnam is a collection of small lessons learned under pressure. No single one guarantees life. Together, they offer a chance. Behind them, Ton reassesses. He slows his men, spacing them further apart. The barefoot American changes the equation. He still leaves signs, but fewer. Ton knows this means the sergeant is willing to adapt. Adaptable enemies are dangerous. He decides to test them. A bird suddenly erupts from the brush ahead. The patrol freezes instantly. Rifles come up. Hearts hammer. Nothing follows. No shots. No movement. Mears exhales slowly through his nose. False alarm. Or probe. He signals forward again. They approach a narrow ridge, the ground sloping away sharply on both sides. The path is barely wider than a man's shoulders. This is where boots become liabilities again. Hard soles slide on damp earth. Ankles twist. Balance is uncertain. Ruiz moves last, carefully gripping roots with his toes. He feels more stable than he has all day. Pain flares with each step, but his footing is sure. Avery slips. His boot skids, scraping dirt. He catches himself on a sapling, heart pounding. The sound echoes longer than he likes. Farther back, Ton hears it clearly. He raises a hand. Stop. This is the moment. He signals 2 men to flank. No ambush yet. Pressure. Let the jungle do the work. Mears senses it again. The tightening. The feeling of being herded. He knows this ridge is bad ground. He signals to speed up. Speed and boots do not mix. Avery forces his pace, boots thudding softly but unmistakably. Ruiz struggles to keep up, pain biting hard now. Blood seeps through the bandage, dark against skin. A sharp crack snaps the air. Not a gunshot. A branch breaking under weight. Mears spins, rifle already up. He sees movement this time. Just a hint. A shadow pulling back into green. Contact is imminent. He signals dispersion, but the ridge limits them. They are exposed. Ton watches from cover, finger near the trigger. He could fire now. He chooses not to. He has learned patience from boots. Americans panic when they cannot see their enemy. Panic makes noise. Noise reveals everything. The patrol halts, weapons scanning. Sweat drips from helmets. Ruiz crouches low, foot screaming in protest as he settles. He bites down hard, tasting copper. Avery realizes something then. The man in boots is louder, clumsier. The man without them is quieter, steadier. The idea frightens him more than the enemy. Boots are doctrine. Bare feet are desperation. Desperation keeps you alive. A distant helicopter thumps faintly, far away. No help. Not now. Mears makes a decision. He gestures to Avery, then points to his boots, then to the ground. Avery hesitates only a second. He nods. Slowly, painfully, Avery unlaces. Leather peels away. His socks are soaked, skin wrinkled and pale. He pulls them off too. The ground feels alien. He suppresses a shiver. Mears does not smile. He does not need to. This is not bravery. It is adaptation. 2 barefoot Americans now. Ton notices again. He narrows his eyes. These men are learning. That makes the jungle less certain. He shifts position, signaling a withdrawal. Today will not be decisive. The jungle will get them another day, another way. For now, the boots have lost some of their voice. The quiet that meant survival. The pressure eases so subtly that no one says it out loud. The feeling of being watched does not vanish, but it loosens, like a fist slowly unclenching. Sergeant Mears senses it first. The jungle's rhythm returns. Insects resume their hum. Leaves shift without purpose. The invisible line pulling tight around the patrol slackens. He signals movement. Not forward. sideways. Off the ridge. The men move carefully, barefoot and booted together now, adjusting their pace to the quietest among them. Avery grimaces as a thorn bites into his soul. He pulls free without sound, heart racing. The pain is sharp but brief. He understands now why the locals accept it. Better pain you feel immediately than pain that festers unseen. Ruiz keeps moving, blood streaking the dirt behind him in faint smears that disappear almost as soon as they appear. His foot burns, but his steps are sure. He feels alive in a way he has not since arriving in country. They reach thicker ground and halt again. Mias listens. Nothing. No pursuit. No closing net. Tom watches from a distance, his rifle lowered. He has already turned away. These Americans will survive today. He does not waste bullets on men who are learning. There will be others who do not. As the patrol pushes on, Mias makes a quiet promise to himself. He will not write this in an after-action report. He will not mention boots or bare feet in any official channel. But he will tell his men. Quietly. One by one. Vietnam is not Europe. It is not Korea. It is not a place where standard answers work. By late afternoon, the patrol reaches a clearing marked for extraction. Rotor wash from the helicopter flattens grass and drives insects into the air. The noise is overwhelming after hours of listening for whispers. Only then does Ruiz allow himself to collapse to one knee. A medic rushes in, eyes widening at the sight of bare, bleeding feet. He starts to scold, then stops when he sees the looks on the men's faces. He has seen those looks before. Men who have learned something that cannot be unlearned. As Ruiz is lifted aboard, boots dangling from a pack strap, Avery looks down at his own bare feet, caked with mud and blood. He feels no shame. Only relief. Boots are handed back at base. Regulations reassert themselves. Leather is laced. Soles hit concrete. The jungle lesson fades for some. But not all. In the months that follow, men quietly cut soles thinner. They loosen laces. They walk differently. Some remove boots on patrol without ever saying why. Survival spreads by imitation. The war in Vietnam will claim men for many reasons. Fire. Steel. Explosives. But it will also claim them through small things. Noise. Tracks. Infection. Standard gear can save you. Or it can betray you. In the jungle, even something as simple as boots can speak loudly enough to get you killed.